So this is the first puzzle that really gives people trouble. Activity 5 in Lesson 7. Now the reason is because everyone is still under the idea that something like this, a puzzle like this, can be completed with just one loop block. But if we take a look at the title of a lesson, nested loops means that at some point we're going to have to take one loop block and place it inside another. When we know something is going to be nested, the most important part to figure out is the innermost loop. So let's do that right now. First thing I want to identify right off the bat is how many overall nectars am I going to have to get. There's 4 on each side, so if I do just a quick count, I know there's 12 total nectars that I'm going to have to collect. If I don't pick up this very first nectar that my bee is standing on top of now, I know that I have to pick up 1, 2, 3. So if I can figure out the pattern for picking up these 3, I might be able to repeat that process multiple times for the rest of the puzzle. So by moving forward and getting nectar, I know that will take care of this flower here, but since this is a nested loop lesson, if this is the most basic process in this puzzle, I know that by repeating that 3 times, that's what's going to take care of the top row of flowers. Now just to make sure I got that right, I'm going to run it. I know that it's not going to be correct, but I just wanted to make sure that the code I put together does do what I want it to do. So now, if I know that this set of code is my most important, I know that somehow this is going to have to go inside another loop and be repeated a number of times. Meaning, if this set of code takes care of 3 flowers, and there are a total of 12, we can do a little math. 3 times 4 will give me 12 flowers. So if I run that, let's see what happens. Still no luck. The code wanted to keep working, but my bee essentially ran directly into this wall. Which brings us to the final sort of thing that we need to think about. Yes, this puzzle is made up of 4 straight lines, but we have to turn a new direction to make sure we're collecting the nectar. So now the trickiest part of this whole puzzle comes is where do we put this turn right? Will it go inside after we get each nectar? Do we want to turn right? Or after collecting the nectar from 3 flowers, 1, 2, 3, do we want to turn right to make sure we're facing the proper direction? So let's reset this and run it. Now some of you may have noticed that if your program starts to move a little bit quicker than normal, that's a good sign that you have the proper coding. And sure enough, I do. So let's talk about why this right turn needs to go in the outer block rather than the inner block. If I were to put this turn right here, what the computer would read is after I move forward and get a nectar, I would turn right, which would take my bee forward 1 space, he would collect this nectar, and then he would immediately turn this direction, which wouldn't allow me to finish the puzzle. So, it can't be after the get nectar. One reason I know this turn right goes in the outermost repeat block is because this shape is a square, and since I know squares have 4 sides, and I can clearly see it right here, I know that I'm going to need to turn right 4 times. This process, identifying the most important part of coding, that innermost repeat block, and understanding that I don't want to turn right after getting the nectar, but that I want to turn right after collecting the nectar from 3 flowers, is going to be very important moving forward.